It's Thursday, the 12th of November 2020. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, the business news you need in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Today's headlines. Consumer confidence in Australia hits a 7-year high, opening the way for a stronger economy in the run-up to Christmas. That's our main story. Plus, the rally in global stocks continues, with the Australian market now less than 10% below its peak. Fortescue Metals plan to become one of the biggest renewable energy companies in the world. And who's the best paid CEO in Australia? Confidence among consumers has surged on the back of interest rate cuts and the easing of restrictions in Victoria, opening up the prospect of a positive economic end to the year. Consumer confidence and property buying intentions are now at 7-year highs, according to the November Westpac Melbourne Institute Index. The Consumer Confidence Index is 13% above its average of the previous 6 months and was taken before the vaccine announcement. The Time to Buy a Dwelling Index is 11% higher than a year ago. Westpac Chief Economist Bill Evans said that without doubt there was a strong resurgence in the housing market, and the positives around low interest rates were overriding the negatives from high unemployment, deferred loans, and the potential for the government to withdraw fiscal support. Confidence is critical to the economic recovery. If people are upbeat, they're more likely to spend money. That means retailers, cafes and restaurants need more staff. Confident consumers are more likely to buy bigger ticket items like TVs and laptops, use dry cleaners, attend sporting games, pay their utility bills on time. Consumer confidence is critical to economic prosperity. We know there are reductions in government payments coming, and we know households and small businesses have to restart paying loans. We also know there are about 1 million Australians without a job or without enough hours. But people feeling better about the future will make an enormous economic difference. In overseas news, President-elect Joe Biden said that nothing would stop the transfer of power in the US government, while President Donald Trump continued with lawsuits in the hope of overturning the result. Meanwhile, a Reuters Ipsos poll said more than 80% of Americans recognise Mr. Biden as the winner, including more than half of all Republicans. The coronavirus death toll in the United Kingdom pushed beyond 50,000 overnight, the highest in Europe. And the European Union has agreed to buy up to 300 million doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID vaccine, when and if it becomes available. Locally, the S&P ASX 200 jumped another 1.8% yesterday to close at 6,450 points. That's 9.95% below its all-time record back in February this year. That means there's no longer a coronavirus correction in the market, which is identified as a 10% drop. Commonwealth Bank provided a September quarter trading update yesterday, which showed it was winning against its competitors in the home lending and deposit markets. The bank's cash profit fell 16% to $1.8 billion as it increased provisions for bad loans by $300 million. Fortescue Metals founder Andrew Forrest told shareholders yesterday that the company planned to become one of the biggest renewable energy companies in the world, eventually producing 235 gigawatts of renewable energy, or 5 times the current capacity of the national energy market. Woolworths yesterday outlined its new sustainability plan, saying it would power its business entirely by renewable energy by 2025, installing solar panels on the roofs of stores and distribution centres. Australia's biggest gold miner, Newcrest Mining, said staff would adopt a hybrid version of working from home and the office after the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. Tasmania said it would reopen its borders to Victoria on November 27. New South Wales has already committed to reopening the border. There were no locally transmitted cases of COVID-19 yesterday. And the Australian Financial Review has released its list of highest paid CEOs. On average, the bosses of listed companies took a pay cut last financial year, with annual bonuses down 24%. The highest paid was CSL's Paul Perreault, who has a take-home pay packet of $28.2 million, in part due to the group's strong share price. The bank CEOs all used to be high on the list, but they've all taken a big pay cut. That's the Fear and Greed business headlines for today. There's more on all of these stories in today's full Fear and Greed podcast. as well as an interview with Andrea Darling from Swedish buy now, pay later giant Klarna. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.